Evan with a dope beat. 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 Evan with a dope beat.
Transmission's out. Old LS transmission. Probably gonna keep it for the gear stack so I could do the speed factory conversion. 5-speed CRV all-wheel drive trans with the Hasport all-wheel drive mounts, T-bracket, transmission mount, and I have S1 built the B to K shifter adapter plate so I could utilize my K series shifter box on the B series assembly. I'm about to go back in. Just to recap, I finished putting the transmission in, mounted everything up. I had to undo some of the harness to make room for the shifter cables. I also figured that I have to trim some of the frame where this transmission mount sits because it's hitting right there, and I don't want a broken transmission casing. The stock B series for like the LS and all that shit doesn't really work on the transmission, but I ended up drilling the hole out to the starter to make it work, and I mean, it worked for now, but you know, it's pretty ghetto, so I'm gonna change it. As far as like the shifter cables, I have the shifter cables ran through the firewall. I ended up taking like a little Christmas tree is what I call it and drilling it out to make it fit, because we needed just a little bit more room. Got them ran through here. $30 billet shifter plate off eBay. Then this is the K series, you know, a cord shifter. There's 4 bolts to go to the original holes in the chassis. Then you drill the other 2 bolts, and then there's 4 bolts that sit the shifter on top. For some reason, I don't know if this is the wrong plate or maybe this is the wrong shifter box for it, but I ended up having to trim some of the plastic just to make them all work. But I mean, it worked. I'm content with it for now. So yep. This is the 20-gallon fuel cell that I bought from eBay for $150. Came with a sending unit so I can see how much gas is in the tank. The 15-gallon one is a little bit smaller and it sits, I think, perfectly in where the spare wheel will go, but I wanted the 20-gallon for more fuel, so I had to custom make brackets. So I went to Home Depot and grabbed some like 1-inch or 2-inch thick metal plates, and I made some brackets and mounted up some 90 degrees because if I ran it across, it would hit the fittings. So I have it going across, and you know, mounted it, welded it to the frame, drilled holes, and it's all mounted. It's not going nowhere. And then as far as like making a return line, I just ended up going from dash 10 to a dash 8 to a barb fitting. So I was able to put the return hose on it instead of having to make a whole new hose from the fuel pressure regulator all the way to the tank. So then I got it running, you know, through the factory location. Got the fuel pump relay. Don't mind the yellow tape. I gotta redo it with electrical and solder. This is how it ended up setting up. I drilled a hole through the chassis, put some electrical tape just to protect it, the braided hose. So I got a dash 10 to a dash 8, and my whole fuel line is dash 8. So then that goes. through here. Don't mind the setup, it's not permanent. This is a 100 micron fuel filter. Then I got an AM 400 inline fuel pump. Then, you know, the line runs all the way to the fuel rail. So I didn't really do a video on taking down the old tank. It's pretty simple. So that's the setup. Nothing fancy. Got the job done.